Have you ever felt like you've been asked to do something impossible? To leave everything you know behind and step into the complete unknown, all based on a promise? Today, we are diving into the incredible story of a man who did just that. His name was Abram, later known as Abraham, and his journey of faith changed the course of history. Our story begins in a bustling city called Ur of the Chaldees. Abram was a man living a comfortable life, surrounded by his family and everything familiar. But one day, he received a call that would turn his world upside down. God spoke to him, saying, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing." Imagine that for a second. God didn't give him a map, a detailed itinerary, or a 5-year plan. He just said, "Go." And here's the most amazing part. Abram went. At the age of 75, he packed up his belongings, his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, and everything they owned, and set out. He left behind his home, his culture, and his security, all based on a promise from a God he was just getting to know. This wasn't a small step. It was a giant leap of faith into the unseen. As they traveled, the promise seemed to grow even more incredible. Abram and Sarai were getting older, and they still had no children. How could God make him a great nation without a single heir? Yet, God reaffirmed his promise in a powerful way. One night, he took Abram outside and said, "Look up at the sky and count the stars, if indeed you can count them. So shall your offspring be." Can you picture that moment? Standing under a vast, star-filled sky, being told that your descendants would be as numerous and uncountable as those distant lights. In that moment of doubt and human limitation, Abram chose to believe. The Bible tells us that he believed the Lord, and he credited it to him as righteousness. His faith wasn't about understanding how it would happen. It was about trusting the one who made the promise. Years passed, and the promise of a son remained unfulfilled. Abram and Sarai tried to take matters into their own hands, which led to family conflict and heartache. But God's plan was still in motion. When Abram was 99 years old and Sarai was 90, God appeared to him again. He changed his name from Abram, meaning exalted father, to Abraham, meaning father of many nations. He also changed Sarai's name to Sarah, meaning princess. And he declared that in 1 year, Sarah herself would give birth to a son. It seems so outlandish that Sarah actually laughed. But with God, the impossible is always possible. Just as promised, their son Isaac, whose name means he laughs, was born. The birth of Isaac was a miracle, the fulfillment of a long-awaited promise. But Abraham's journey of faith was not over. In fact, it was about to face its most severe test. God called to Abraham again, this time with a heart-stopping command. "Take your son, your only son, whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you." This is one of the most difficult passages to read in all of Scripture. Isaac was the child of the promise, the one through whom the great nation was supposed to come. How could God ask for this? We can only imagine the anguish Abraham must have felt. Yet, early the next morning, he rose, prepared for the journey, and took Isaac with him. He didn't understand, but his trust in God was absolute. He told his servants, "Stay here. We will worship and then we will come back to you." Notice he said "we." Even in this moment, Abraham believed that God would somehow keep his promise, perhaps even by raising Isaac from the dead. On the mountain, as Abraham prepared to obey, Isaac asked, "Father, the fire and wood are here, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" Abraham's reply is one of the most profound statements of faith ever spoken. God himself will provide the lamb. And just as Abraham raised his hand to carry out the command, an angel of the Lord called out, stopping him. Abraham looked up and saw a ram caught in a thicket by its horns. God had, indeed, provided the sacrifice. This event reveals so much about the heart of God. He wasn't testing Abraham to be cruel. He was revealing the depth of Abraham's faith and, more importantly, revealing his own character as Jehovah Jireh, the Lord will provide. This moment on Mount Moriah is also a powerful foreshadowing of a future sacrifice, when God would provide his own son, Jesus, as the ultimate lamb to take away the sins of the world. Abraham's story doesn't end on the mountain. He lived a long life, saw Isaac grow and have children of his own, and became the patriarch of a people who would forever look back to him as their father in faith. His legacy is not one of perfection. He had moments of doubt and made mistakes. but his life is defined by his willingness to trust God's promises, even when they seemed illogical, delayed, or completely out of reach. So what does this ancient story mean for us today? It reminds us that faith is a journey, not a destination. It's about taking that first step, even when we can't see the whole path. It is about looking up at the stars of God's promises when our own circumstances seem bleak. And it's about trusting that even in our greatest tests, God is our provider. Just like Abraham, we are all invited to walk by faith and not by sight, trusting that the one who calls us is faithful to complete what he has started. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Abraham's life. If this story encouraged you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the powerful narratives of faith. See you next time.